What's going on, everybody? My name is Stefan Hamann, and in this video, we are going to learn Shopware 6 real plugin development. So basically, as you know that in previous video, we have created a plugin which called Job plugin. The basic purpose of this plugin is creating a page where the store owner or our client is post some jobs, and in that plugin, we will manage everything from uh, storefront to admin. So right now in the plugin, let me share my screen and see what we are going to do in this video. So let me share my screen. So here I am going to share my screen. All right, so as you can see that this is my code and it's my PHP storm. So as you know that I'm running Docker instance of Shopware 6, and this is the my local server code here, and this is my remote host, which is the Docker instance. So this is how we are working. So far what we have created is that we have a custom URL where we can say localhost/jobs, and this will open our page. And after that, we understand the weird syntax of route.xml. And once we are done with, then we understand that how we can pass data to the view from controller to view. We also learned that. So in this video, what I just want to show you that how you can add your style or and how you can add your custom JavaScript on your storefront. So basically what I want, for example, if I want to change this or I want to center this, right now you can see that this whole text, which is H1, this H1 is right now its center. And right now what I am doing is right now is just basically if you go here and inside these resources storefront page, we have a page called job HTML page, and here you can see that we have a style, and inside the style you can see that its text align is center. So basically we are using a inline CSS right now, but I want to a CSS where I can add some sort of class, and this class start working on our this heading. So we are going to do this, and also we are going to see that how you can add custom JavaScript, because in order to for example, if we have some sort of button, for example, if we reach the end and something like that, you already know that the JavaScript play a major role in the interactivity, in a DOM manipulation, and lot of other things. So without wasting any time, let's jump on the code section. So as you can see that here, I am on the official Shopware docs. And if you go on the shopwaredocs.com, you just need to go inside the guides. And if you go inside the guide section, you can see the plugin. And inside the plugin, what we need to do, we just go inside the storefront. Once you open the storefront, we are interested in, we want to add just basically our own CSS or SCSS. So if you click on add custom styling section, so you will find the guide on how you can add your custom styling. So this is the overview. So quite often your plugin will have to change a few templates for the storefront. Those might require custom styling to look neat, which will be explained in this guide. So the prerequisites is just you need a plugin based guide, and you need to understand how the SCSS work, and they are just giving the links of that how you can use the plugin based guide, or how you can create your own basic plugin. So you can find this video on my channel, and if you want to learn more about the SCSS, so they are providing a link of official docs of SCSS. So let's see how they are telling us to adding the CSS file. So if you want to add the CSS file, so they are telling you that by default the software is looking for a base.cscss file in your plugin. To be precise, this file has to inside the directory, which is that plugin root, source, source app, storefront, source as CSS. So these are a lot of directories we are going to create. So let's jump on the screen. So you can see that inside the resource folder we have, you can see that inside the resource folder we need to create a folder called app, and inside the app folder we need to create a folder called source storefront. Inside the storefront we need to create a folder called source, and inside the source folder we need to create SCSS. So we need to create a lot of folders. So I'm going to copy this thing from here, and as you know that I'm using a PHP storm, so I'm going to create these folders in one command. So if you right click on the resource folder, you can see new, and you can click on the new file or either a new directory. So I'm going to click on a new directory and paste it, control V, and just click or hit the enter. So you can see that I just paste the whole code, and it's create all the folder necessary folder that I want. So you can see inside the resource folder we have a folder called app, and inside the app we have a folder storefront. Inside the storefront folder we have a source, and inside the source we have a SCSS folder. So just try it out, database dot SCSS file in the directory mentioned above. So right, so you can see that they basically want to create a base CSS file in the SCSS file. So let me go here and create a new file and paste it there. So you can see that base .scl file is right now here. So what is the next thing? So they are just showing us that you can add some style here. So for example, they are just uh, turning the whole body into the blue section. So let me paste this and see what happened. So I just paste the whole code from the guide, and if you see here that they are just uh, telling that the body need to be blue, and I just upload the file. So if you go inside the server and let me open the server for you, there is our plugin ISF job post. Inside the resource we have a folder called app, and inside the app we have a source and SCSS, and if you see that the both file are same, so you can see that the file is identical to remote one. So this is how it's working. So that's mean the whole code is same on the server. So let me go and refresh our page, so maybe we see something. Oh, wow, why there our change is not here? So maybe it's a cache issue. So let's go and inside the setting, inside the system, inside the cache and indexes, let me clear the cache and go here and refresh the page. Maybe it will work now. Still not working. So why it is happening? So let's deep dive, and so you can see that we are using a SCSS file. So as far as I know, or maybe you know that the browser are not able to understand the SCSS or less or stylus. I guess there is another pre-compiled CSS. So these are the pre-compiled CSS. So this need to be compiled in order to work. So what I want to do now, so if you go inside the guide and you scroll down to the bottom, and you can see testing its functionality heading. So now you want to test if your custom style actually apply to the storefront. For this, you have to execute the compiling and the building of the s.scss first file. This done by using the following command to uh, psh-var storefront.build if you are using a Docker uh, development template, or you are using this syntax. So I'm going to use this syntax, production syntax. So in order to do this, what I want to do that I just need to go inside my container. So you can go inside this container using a docker exec command, because I'm using a Docker instance. So I can do this, and let me show you how we can go inside the container. So let me exit it from here. All right. So right now this is my local machine. You can see there are a lot of folders. So if I want to go inside the container, so you can see that docker exec-it. So docker execute interactive mode dev shop is my container name, and bash, and when you enter it, so you can see that now it's changed to www-data and blah blah blah. So here, if you see that there is our Shopware, so you can see that vendor, custom, and everything is here. And we are interested in bin folder, so I want to just see the bin. So let me click on ls and bin. So you can see there are a lot of or bunch of commands available here. So like right now that we are interested in build-storefront.sh, we have administration JS and whole JS, and we have console and watch administration, a lot of other things, but we are interested right now in this command. So what I just want to say that bin slash bu and hit tab, so it will auto complete it, and let me enter. So basically what it will do, it will just basically remove the existing node module folder and create a new node module folder where our SCSS is also compiled, and then our shop can easily access to our SCSS code or our CSS code. So it will take some time. So it will not take so much time, so it will take some time. So you can see that right now it's just removing existing node modules. Maybe normally it will take 1 minute or maybe uh, 2 minutes sometime. So basically you can see that it is to uninstall the folder, and now it is installing the node module folder and it starts compiling. You can see that it is start building, and there are the module and the activity and everything is else. So I'm not going to skip the folder, so you can get a very good understanding. So you can see that there are 317 modules, and they are just basically saying framework bundle, and here a lot of stuff. But what we are interested in this thing, ISF job post. So basically it's compiled everything the or our CSS for this bundle. So let me go and refresh this page, maybe it start working. All right, so you can see that we just tell the our BSS SCSS class or SCSS file that change the body background color to blue. So that's why we are seeing this weird color. So if you go to another page as well, so they are also using this color as well. So basically we are just using our custom plugin CSS in our shop. But what I want to convert this h1, and this h1 is using an inline css right now. So what I want just to replace the inline css with our custom class. So let's do this quickly. So you can see I'm going to remove this body thing because it is giving a very weird color to our shop. So let me go here, and what I want here, I just want to add a class here, and the class would be the name. If for example I want a class, so we can say that let's say that we need a class called job main heading. So this is our class that we are going to build in our CSS. So this is our CSS class or SCSS class, you can say whatever you like. So here I'm just going to add two brackets here, and inside this folder what I want is just uh, I want to say that text align center, so which basically right now, but I also want to change the color of this. So the color should be the blue, and the color would be darker blue. and let me deploy this. And I also need to upload this file because right now we have made some changes on the job HTML file. So we have upload both files. So let me create a new build here. So same command bin build storefront.sh. So it will take some time. You can see that it is building right now. So once it will done with building, so our page will change. So it's complete now. So let me go here and refresh the page, and you can see that the whole heading is right now in center, and the color is changed right now. So this is how we can use our custom CSS or custom style uh, on our plugin. So let me go and show you here as well. So if you see that there is our h1 which is using our the class that we told him that you need to use this class. So this is how the our styling will work. So right now we are done with the style thing. So let's move to our next section, which is how you can add the custom JavaScript in your plugin. So this is a little bit different if you use the Shopware approach. So let me show you what I mean. So similarly, if you go inside the guide on the Shopware doc, inside the guide you have plugin. Inside the plugin, you need to choose the storefront. Inside the storefront, you have a guide called Add Custom JavaScript. So you can see that what they are telling us. So first, they want us to give some overview. So why we need the JavaScript? So we need JavaScript in order to add some interactivity to your storefront. So probably you have to write your own JavaScript plugin. Yes. So basically, Shopware use some terminology called JavaScript plugin. So normally in other side we just or normally not about other side. If I talk about the Shopware 5, we use a file called and then we hook the file, and we can name anything the file, and we can start working on a JavaScript. But here you will be guided to the process of writing and registering your own JavaScript plugin. So in this guide you will, or in this whole section, so you will write a plugin that simply check if user has scrolled to the bottom of the page and then creates an alert. So the prerequisites are you need to guide, you need for this guide is the shopper signaling instance with full access of oil file and including access to command line to execute command. So as you can see that we have use a build storefront.sh command. So same command we are going to use in this because it will build our storefront. And also another thing that you want to know that we need a general understanding of vanilla JavaScript. ES6 is also mandatory. Everything else is explained in this guide. So writing a JavaScript file is so JavaScript plugin. So you need to understand that the JavaScript plugins are vanilla JavaScript ES6 classes that extend from the plugin based classes. So for more information about the classes, they had a link here which will tell us how the JavaScript classes, ES6 classes work. So we are not interested in this right now. So let's jump and start coding. So what they just want? So they just want to create a folder app storefront source. So we already have this folder app storefront source. And the next thing that they want us to is just create a new directory and name after your plugin. In this guide, it will be called example dash plugin. So the full part would be like that plugin root source is source app storefront source example dash plugin. So what we are going to do is we just need to create a new folder here. So let me go here and open this, and this is the name of our plugin. So we need to create a folder here, and let me create a new directory and paste this here. So we create a new directory, and as the comment or this guide told us to do, so you create a new directory name after your plugin. So the name of our plugin is as a job post, so we create a job post. So inside, now create an actual for the JavaScript plugin. In the example, they are calling it example-plugin.plugin.js. So what I want to do is just simply say like, uh, let's go with the create a new file here and name it like job dash post dot js. So it is not mandatory to do the dot plugin dot js extension here, I guess. So inside the file you can export an example plugin class, extend with the base plugin class. So this is what they are doing. So what I am going to do here is just go inside, and what we need to do now. So first we need to import something. So you can see that we are using ES6 syntax, and from, let me say src slash, and the src slash the plugin. So without wasting, let's copy this thing. Basically we need to import the base plugin class. I'm also going to give you a deep introduction on that, and let me copy this as well. So we are using ES6 syntax here. So we are just exporting a class called example plugin. So I'm just going to name it to the jobs post, or let me remove this s here, and I'm also thinking to remove the s from here. So let me refactor and rename and remove this and refactor, and right now everything is working. So we are just saying that export this default this class, and this class extending from this plugin. And so if you are and see that where this plugin dot class coming, so you just needed to go inside the vendor folder. Inside the vendor folder you have a folder called Shopware. Inside the Shopware you need to go to storefront, and inside the storefront we have a folder called resource. Inside the resource we have a folder called app, and in storefront, so this is the same uh, hierarchy or same folder setup we are using in our plugin. If you notice, we have a resource, we have a app, we have a storefront. Inside the storefront we have a folder called source or src. So inside the src we have a plugin system. So you can see inside the src we have a plugin system, and inside the plugin system we have a class called plugin.class. So this is the class that we are extending. So there is a method called init, update, and there are a lot of functions that available in this class. So what we need to do now, so this is just a basic vanilla ES6 class which extend the plugin class. Each plugin has to implement the init method. The method will call when your plugin get initialized, and it is the entry point of your custom logic. So it's kind of like document dot ready or document ready on that we use in jQuery, or document dot onload that we use in custom JavaScript. So this init function that it just initialize our custom logic. the plugin initialize run on document content load event, so you can be sure the DOM is already completed loaded. In your case, you add a callback to the scroll event and blah blah blah. So we are not interested in right now. So what we need to know, we just go and copy this here. Let me copy the whole code here, I guess. So let me hit enter and paste this. So uh, let see that what is this whole code is doing. So basically we have a init function. So this init function is a entry point. So let me add a console and let me say that init init in VOKED invoked. So basically this is the main function. So whenever our plugin runs, so this init function call first. It's like a constructor in a class, but it's not constructor. This init function will run our code, and let me change this, and it is adding a listener to the scroll, and this scroll is just basically referencing to this function. This is the this dot on a scroll, this is the on a scroll dot bind this. So here you can see that on a scroll is basically checking the windows dot inner height plus a y offset is greater than or equal to page offset, so it will show an alert, and this is what this plugin doing right now. So I'm also let me copy this here and log this as well. So so whenever we scroll, this on scroll function run and it check the condition. If the check condition is true, so it will show us an alert. So let me go and paste it here. Let me add a PluginManager and let me upload this file here. So when we upload this file, so it basically upload the whole folder structure as well. So we have the resource and app. Inside the app we have a storefront source this. So when we upload this file, so it automatically upload the folder as well, because it is connected to the hierarchy, and I am using a bind mapping here, so that is why it's do that. So let me go here and refresh this, so you will not see anything. So why you did not see anything, you need to again recompile everything. So I'm going to use the same command, build storefront. So basically this build storefront uh, do both things. It will compile the SCSS and as well as JS, because you also know that the storefront is using a lot of libraries. So it will need to compile first and then it will render to the our storefront. So it will take some time. So I'm going to the pause the video, and when it's done I will start resume this here. So our plugin is compiled successfully, and if you go here and refresh this page, you will not see anything because we didn't see any alert until we reach the end. So let me go here and refresh this page again in order to see that our init function is working or not. So you can see that there is no console right now. So that's mean that our init function is not working right now. So let's see why it is happening. So we have a function called init, and when this function runs, all right. So basically what I was thinking that maybe it's a cache issue. So let me go and clear the cache. The cache is clear now, and let me reload the page, because we have a new compiled JavaScript and we didn't clear the cache. So maybe that was the issue. So still we are not seeing any console here. So that means we have some sort of error in our code. So let's debug it and see what is the issue. So we have a job dash post, and we are not seeing anything. So why it is doing anything? So let me tell you what is the issue. So as I told you that the whole plugin that we are creating or the Shopware standard is the same thing that the Shopware is using. So if you see here inside this resource app, by the way, this is the plugin code, or not plugin code, it's a vendor Shopware. So there is a, folder called resource app storefront. Inside the source folder, we have a plugin system. Inside the plugin, these there are all lot of plugin. So basically, Shopware also using this thing like if you want to add to cart, so there is a plugin. uh, you can see add to cart plugin and extending the plugin. So this is the same thing, and there is a method called init as well. The Shopware also using this plugin in the core system as well. So we are not interested in this right now. What I want to show you just right now, so you can see that inside the source there is a file called main.js. So we also need a main.js file in order to register our plugin. So let me show you what I mean. So if you go here and inside the source folder, resource app storefront source, and inside the source folder we need a file called main.js. So why main.js? So you have to use the main.js file name, otherwise it will not work. So let me go and give some more detail on this main.js file. So you can see that we have copied the whole code and it is not working. So the you can see that there is a short explanation for the this logic here, but we are not interested in it right now. So we are interested in this part. So we have created a plugin, but we didn't register this plugin. So how we can do this? So next you have to tell Shopware that your plugin should be loaded and executed. Therefore, you have to register your plugin in the plugin manager. So Shopware is automatically looking for a main.js file in a plugin root source resource app source and source. So that is why I create a main.js file, because Shopware is uh, using this name by default. So we have to use the name as well. Similarly, that we use base.scss file in the style section. So we need to use that main.scss file. It is a entry.js file, you can say like that. And similarly, they are telling us to create a file, and then you need to, you can see that the source app source and you need this code. So let me copy this code from here. You can copy this from this button. Inside the main.js, you need to copy this. So you can see that they are exporting the example plugin, but we are not dealing with the example plugin. So what we are exporting? So we are exporting job posts. You can see exported for job post. So let me copy this here. Go inside the main.js. We are using the job post, and let me go here and remove the hole here, and let me say dot slash. We have ISF job post, and let's say slash job post dot js. So you can see that it is here now, and we need to pass the job post here. So basically, if you go inside the window and try to find the plugin manager, so you will also able to see, I guess. You say window dot plugin manager. You can see that plugin manager is a function. So there is a function, and this plugin manager, let me enter this. So this is a whole function that takes a lot of parameters in order to register the plugin. So let me show you the easiest way. So you can see that there is a yellow line, say that redundant variable. So let me inline it. So what we are just telling our system, go inside the window and call inside the plugin manager. You need to call a function called register and register our plugin. And the plugin name that I want to use here is ISF job post, which is the name of our plugin. So that's why we are using here. And this is the class that we export from here. So you can see that right now it is changed its color. So it means it is working properly, and the class that we need, we just pass it here. So we also need to upload this file as well, and we are going to recompile everything, and we need to wait for some time in order to compile this file. So it will start compiling. So basically there are a lot of functions that is coming from Shopware, and this is like, this is the window, and you can see like this dot plugin manager as well, I guess. So you can see plug. So you can see there are a lot of classes or a lot of function, I guess, available. You can see plugin array, plugin manager, plugin base class, and lot of other things. So if I do this, so you can, it's not cannot call a class as a function because it's a class. So you can see that plugin base class. So that's why it is showing this error. So let me see that it is done now. So it is almost complete. So it will take some seconds, and it is done, I guess. Yes, it is done now. So let me go here and clear the cache. Maybe maybe we can see any error. So let me clear the cache, and the cache is clear, and let me reload the page here. So the first thing that you notice that we have here a console called init invoke, and this console coming from this init method. So basically what this means, whenever our init match function called, this function will execute, and or this function will invoke. And here you can see that we are adding a event listener on scroll. So that means if I scroll, so you will see some console here. You can see show alert false, show alert false, 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 false. So this means just if this whole condition true, so this will say show alert true, and then we are going to see the alert here. So let me scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, and then you can see that show alert true. And as soon this condition true, so this will uh, telling us or showing us an alert. Seems like there's nothing more to see here. So we can click OK, and if you go ahead, it's a false, and you guys will see here alert. So this is how we can add a JavaScript code inside our plugin if you are using the Shopware 6 standard way. And there is another thing called binding your plugin to the DOM. So what this mean? So this mean basically right now if you go here, and let me go to the storefront demo page, and let me go here, and when I hit to the what end of the page, and when my scroll ends, it basically is showing this thing again. So basically our plugin or our JavaScript working on everywhere in our site, and sometimes we don't want to do this. We want, for example, we want to run this JavaScript on some sort of detail page or something like this specifically. So how we can do this? So right now you can see that this is not showing any alert. So why it is? You can see that our JavaScript is working. So let me clear this, and you can see that it is start showing now. All right, so we need to hit the end in order to then we are seeing. So that time the condition that we are seeing is false. As soon that we get the true condition, so it will start working. So but sometimes we just want to show the some sort of JavaScript, or want to use some sort of JavaScript only on our detail page. So how we can do this? So this is the topic of binding your plugin to the DOM. So what does mean? So this it just basically mean that we are just binding our JavaScript to the DOM, which is document X object model. So how we can do this? So we have created a file called main.js. Inside the main.js, we are registering our plugin. So this is already we are doing. So in order to, if you want to do this in specific area. So you can pass here like data example plugin, they are calling it. And inside the template, you can see that they are calling it on every page. So they are using the data example plugin as an attribute or a data attribute. So basically it's a data attribute. And if you want to use the configuration, you can see that there are a lot of documentation available. So let me give you an example. So what this whole thing mean and what this syntax mean and how you can restart this thing as well. So I'm not going to code it, but I'm going to give you an example. So I'm going to close this some files here. So let quickly jump inside the Shopware. Inside the vendor folder, we have a storefront, and this is similar like our plugin. So inside, if you go inside the resource folder, you can see that app. Inside the app, you can see there is a folder called source, and there is our main.js file. So the main.js file is similar like our main.js file. So there are a lot of importing going on right now. There is a helper, utils, import plugins, like similar we do in our this section. We are just importing our plugin. So this is the same thing. So right now, the thing that I want to show you is that let's go, and there are a lot of JavaScript plugin. So you need to see that like let me choose an easier one so we can easily understand that. So there is a function called scroll up. So let me open this. So this is the scroll up function. Maybe this function run when we click on this button. So this is the function and this is the logic behind this. So this we will call an init function, and init function is calling other function uh, like this dot button equal to, this is basically setting some variable here. So you can see this dot button equals to this dot el. So this dot el stand for this dot element query selector, and you can see a lot of things, and you can see that is some sort of function. So if you go here and find that there is a function that this class is referencing, and this is the thing is working now. But what I want to show you that you can see that the class is scroll up to plugin. So we need this file here. So you can see that there is our scroll up plugin similar to this line example plugin and this line. So we have import and store this into the variable. So we are storing into the variable, and then we need to register it. So you can see that the plugin manager dot register scroll up is the basically the plugin name. And then the next thing is the whole plugin class. There is a whole plugin class that we store in our variable, and then there is a weird syntax. So this weird syntax is just not an array, it's an string, and we need to pass this inside this square bracket, and this is a data scroll up. So let me show you that what it's mean. So let me copy this here, right? So how we can use it? So this function we want on or we want to run whenever this data scroll up function invoked, so or execute in similar in simple words. So I'm going to go here and just close this folder and show you there's something magic. So let me copy this here. You can see that the only referencing that now that is a compiled version, and this stuff we already seen file. But as soon as you remove this square bracket, so let me remove this here and add data, and you can see that there is a file called scrollup.txt. So this file is basically if you notice here, data scroll up. equals to true is just basically using the data attributes, which is a very known thing in JavaScript. And if you are know the ES6 or a little JavaScript, or you are a mid-level JavaScript developer, you know that what is data attributes. So they are using a data attributes, and this is how the plugin will know where you need to load the plugin. So similarly, if you read this whole paragraph, you can see that in this case, HTML document contain at least one element with the data example plugin. So similarly, data example plugin, you can use then use the this.el. So this.el that your this.el means that your button, whenever you click on, so you can access the this dot element here, and you can DOM element your plugin is bound on. There is an other heading for loading your plugin that I already show you, that they are just passing the data plugin example plugin here without these square brackets, so we don't need a square bracket. Similarly, we just pass here, and I believe that you can pass this equal to true as well. So and if you don't, so it will also work, because we are not getting any value or not need any value from the our custom data attributes. So you can see that they are just telling it you can do this, and you can use the data example attribute, a lot of text here in the example. So this is with the template extension, your plugin is activated to every content page, because this block base inner or this in content section is everywhere in the page. So this will work. But if you want to run this on a specific page, so you can get the page like the detail page, product detail page. You can add this to some sort of div, and it will start working. So there are some more example on configuration your plugin. So I'm not going to explain it. This is basically for a static option, and where you can pass the text, and inside your TPL you can also pass the text here. Like you can see that we have a static option variable, and which is just an object, and this object contain a value called text. And if you want to replace the text, you can, from the template level, you can see that data example plugin, which is the same as our this thing, and you just need to add an extra thing called dash option, which equals to an object like thing. We are JSON encoding it an example plugin option, which is means that we are just, this syntax is twig template, because we are using a twig variable here, and we are JSON encoded. So when this whole page renders, so they can access to the option that we want to use in our plugin. And there is a guide for modify existing option, but is similar like this, but I'm not going to explain it. And the plugin script path is just basically the thing that I'm going to explain it right now. So you can see that there is a last line, you read that make sure to ship the compile file with your plugin as well. So what this means? So you know that we are continuously running a this command here, which is just basically bin build storefront.sh. So it basically build the whole JavaScript and SCSS file. So in order to ship this compiled JavaScript file to our plugin, so you need to go inside the your plugin that is located on our Docker instance. You can see that app storefront source. You can see that. Let me refresh this. You can see that there is a new folder called dist, and if you go and here, you will not find any folder here, because it is not compiled, and this is our local instance, so we didn't compile anything here. We are running every command on our server, so this is why this folder is here. So let me download it from here, and there you can see that there is this folder. So what this folder contain? This folder will basically contain the our JavaScript or our compiled JavaScript. So you can see that there is ISF there job post, and there is a pushing, and a lot of code is going. So this is our compiled JavaScript code. And whenever you ship your plugin, so you also make sure that you download it from your server, and this folder should be here. So whenever your client or customer install your plugin, so they don't need to run the build-sh command in order to compile the JavaScript again. So I think I'm done now for this video. So I hope that I explained everything in detail, like how you can add the style in your plugin, and how you can add the custom JavaScript your plugin. So till then, I am waiting for your comments. And if you like this video, and if this video is helpful, so you can like and subscribe and share my video. And if you have any confusion, please do comment, and normally I reply all of your comments. So till then, I will see you in the next video, and take care of yourself, and bye bye, see ya.